Hi, everyone. I got a special guest, Dr. Richard Liu, who we actually share a bit of a history here. Myself and the guys in the office and all of our subscribers have had incredible success with Enbridge, one of the world's largest vertically integrated utilities, powering the data centers. And Richard worked at Enbridge and now took that philosophy and the success and is building upon that in PowerBank. And I can say with confidence what PowerBank's doing now with the existing contracts and what I expect with more further government contracts and contracts to power the rise of America and data centers with projects in the US. Dr. Richard Liu, thanks for doing this. Give my subscribers the playbook on where PowerBank is going.
It's a great pleasure to be here again, and really appreciate this opportunity. Enbridge still one of my favorite experiences. I was there looking after their, environment, health and safety, alternative energy. They have solar farms. They have wind farms, and it's a great company. When I started this company about 15 years ago, that's one example I'm building PowerBank towards. You have a steady income that delivering something that is necessity to life, which is electricity, and just moving the company forward. PowerBank is a actually developing independent power producer, and we're in the electric power business, and we have the end-to-end capability. In other words, from origination through the processes all the way have it built and then producing electricity in both Canada and the USA. We are listed both in NASDAQ and the CBOE in Canada. We continue to provide the power in both countries. We deploy our assets, shareholders' investment in generation, distribution, transmission, and energy services along the whole value chain. As you know, we have a 1 gigawatts plus pipeline, not only solar projects, but also batteries, not only in the community solar, but also in utility serving data centers and other digital economics, right? I think this process is very important to share with our readers here is that people need power, country needs power, new technology needs power, and we are a vertically integrated one-stop shop to taking the project from origination all the way to operation. That gives us an advantage that in this whole energy pipeline that we can deliver electricity power to meet the ever-growing energy demand.
So, Dr. Richard, when I wrote the bestseller, The Rise of America, one of our fundamental pillars was you have to get cheap, reliable electricity, which is directly correlated to the successful GDP. We see that the data centers, the incredible demand for that. And the key, though, is what's in it for the shareholders. And one project that caught my attention is without any shareholder dilution, you're able to raise $100 million to power up almost 100 megawatts. Let's explain to shareholders how you did that and why it's so important for shareholder value.
Yeah, Marin, I love to read your papers and see your production. One of them I still remember. There is no country with low power consumption and the rich.
That's right.
So you got to think about it. If we want to improve society, improve our living standard, and get into more and better things, we have to have more electricity, more power, right? And we are in that business. You obviously investment in me running this company. It's safe, reliable, and low cost. What low cost mean? Low cost means that we can deliver more with same cost, or we can deliver a same cost, or I would say more electricity at a lower cost. So most of the time, you finance the projects with equities people just issue shares. That's not what we do. We want to preserve shareholder equity as much as we can while maintaining funding from, let's say, investment tax credit investors. That's the CIM 100 million. From long-term debt from the banks, from certain government-directed programs such as carbon credit tradings and so on and so forth. So that way, you see, reaching out to our shareholders to dilute them is the last thing that we want to do. And I can tell you, we don't need to do. Lots of people say you must need money. I've been running this company for 15 years now. The lights will be on, and we don't need cash because we couldn't make payroll. No, no, we run this company very, very, solid.
Well, the key there is ELCO. We talk about this in at Katusa Research all the time, the levelized cost of electricity equivalent. And when you compare it to even natural gas, you look at the power rates. There's incredible demand on the existing grid. And what you're doing with these projects is being able to provide sustainable, long-term, low-cost electricity, not just for the government. You look at within the government, you have municipal, but also military aspects that are all looking for reliable, low cost electricity. But the data centers, the 100 megawatts plus, that is what to me intrigues me. And being able to use OPM, other people's money, not the shareholders' money, but the shareholders get the cash flow. Show me what that's going to look like in the next 12 to 24 months for shareholders.
If you look at our pipeline, as I mentioned that we have a very solid pipeline. We own $200 million assets now. Your readers probably thinking, why PowerBank has much lower revenue now, right? Mary, remember about years ago that our shareholders directed us to keep more projects, not selling more projects, because our shareholders are in this one for long-term sustainable cash income, right? Versus, play on the stock market. So we continue to own, and now we own solar, we own battery, and even with the CIM 100 million, that's also I would say it's a tax play. Eventually, we will own that too, right? So we have a lot of project getting into construction by year end, by July the 4th, and based on the new big beautiful bill, and we will be very busy actually till 2030 to materialize our projects in the States.
And the key differentiation for everyone to understand is most IPPs, independent power producers, have such a high budget because they have to use consulting groups, engineers. A lot of people don't realize you have your own team that you've built internally and have already built projects that are producing electricity, low cost, reliable, and cash flow. That is a big differentiation that you've built.
Yeah. Marin, you mentioned that the key measurement is levelize the cost of electricity, right? We are very happy to report, lots of people say, oh, renewable company solar is not in favor, is going down and so on and so forth. But if you look at the power generation, I was looking at the Lazard version 18, you probably have access to it too, right? If you look at it, solar production is as low as $81 or $38 or even $50 a kilowatt hour compared to, let's say, gas at 149, the nuclear at 141, a coal at 71. So to produce lower cost of electricity, renewable is the one to go, right? So from that perspective, we are looking at this one to say, we can at the data center reach this large scale level to produce a power competitive to the market. And we're certainly giving our subscribers, community solar subscribers, a discount of 10% already. Right,
Yep.
as the economics grow, more adoption, so on and so forth, I'm very comfortable competing with the traditional ways to produce electricity. Not let alone, they're going to take years. We can do it now.
Well, that's the key aspect, Richard, being the timing to permit, CapEx risks of capital blowouts. I'm a huge believer in nuclear energy, but the problem is the capital costs and the capital cost increases by the time you get going, and natural gas, regardless of whether they try to make it cleaner to get those green scrubbers and decarbonize it, it is increased cost significantly, which the green gas producers don't include in their ELCO, but it's the time and the cost of capital to finance those. Whereas with what you're focusing on is what I call quick construction recycle ratios. Start to cash flow is much faster that a lot of people don't focus in the ELCO. But now I'm going to pivot, which is really exciting because, you and I come from a background of the Enbridges. I love cash flow. I love dividends. Some may say that I've become a boring guy in my investments because I like cash. But then you came up with the PowerBank participation in the Gettys project, which is really exciting for those who want, a green angle to Bitcoin. Please talk about that.
Okay. Um, When I was at Enbridge, I was able to watch how pioneers are financing their company, equity, long-term debt, government grants. When I was at Toronto Hydro, we were able to issue corporate bonds, and now I'm running a NASDAQ company. And how do we finance it, right? Traditionally, utility is a stable, and the people investing in Enbridge like you and I will like it. But there are more people who more enjoy more exciting environment, right? So if you listen to the street say, well, you need to be in crypto, you need to be in data center, you also need to be in SMRs. So we as a power company, how do we bring investment opportunities to the investors so more investment come to the company, grow the company, benefiting our shareholders? So that's why, okay, let's talk about crypto, right? We are not going to be a crypto treasury company like lots of companies do because we do have a profitable real business. But that doesn't exclude us participating. I almost thinking, Marin, for us to get into the crypto as a treasury strategy is no difference from people issuing corporate bond, right? The only difference is corporate bond carry a fixed value and so on and so forth, where the
Right.
bitcoins and so on and so forth, they appreciate very much bigger, right? Now we have a pilot, which is the Getty's solar farm already up and running, already producing cash. And as we get the net income after paying the debt, paying everything, that money will be turned into crypto coins and it will further appreciate more in the marketplace.
That's the key. You're using OPM, other people's money, because you get paid first. And without your green power, there is no green Bitcoin, or as I call it, it's the key to get access to the ElectroDollar, which is the jewel. The ElectroJewel is going to be, they talk about the petrodollar, and we've know about the history there. The future is about the ElectroDollar, and it's all about the jewels. Richard, over the next 24 to 36 months, you're listed on the NASDAQ under the what I think is the best ticker, SUN, SUUN, because that's your power source. You've gone through this growing pain. You have a gigawatt in your pipeline. That's a nuclear reactor. You've shown to monetize it. 10% you've already converted using $100 million of other people's money to build 100 megawatts. You're going to keep going with this pipeline. You have exposure to these other exciting industries like the Getty's project. And you're not just in the US, you're also producing power in Canada because these countries, these states, these provinces, they need these IPPs, but you're vertically integrated. So what will the next 36 months as a shareholder hold for PowerBank shareholders?
I think, shareholders are always looking for, I would say, gains over time, right? So for me, I would say you will see continuous deploy of community solar projects in the next 12, 24 months. We're probably talking about tens of megawatts, right? We have a CIM deal of 97 megawatts. And if you look at our financial reporting, you will know our gross margin is 20+% over there, right? So that's on the solar front. On the battery side, that we are building one in Buffalo, and we are commissioning one in Ontario. We are building another two in Ontario. Those are 21-year capacity payment. In other words, if we sit there waiting for the government to call, we get paid, right? That's again a how you put it, non-merchant market, fixed income, which our shareholders love. Right. In addition to that, in the States, we have more government contract from Army operations coming. We are actually looking at more battery storage. As I mentioned, we already have a dozen sites in the States already. But we will do well back to Canada in the LT2 application with hundreds of megawatt solar with gigawatt hours of a battery. Those contracts will be made known in June 2026, right? And our shareholder will be happily surprised that we actually have both fixed income contract in Canada and in the USA.
Dr. Richard, when green energy is done properly, it results in the color of money, green. So thank you for your time. Everyone, please look into this company. Like everything, there's risks, but this is a company that has a great prospect. It's listed on the NASDAQ under the ticker symbol SUUN. Dr. Richard, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, man.